If your wife hints she might be in the mood, your kids will sense it and won't go to bed for 3 years. Talking about kids, fact of life, the more kids you have, the worse your parenting becomes. People that only have one child are making homemade baby food out of organic vegetables they're growing in their own backyard. Yeah, by the time that fourth child rolls around, you're smoking a cigarette while you watch your toddler pull a year-old milk dud out from under the stove and eat it. Pick the cat hair off of it before you put it in your mouth. Come on. Fact of life, out of all the dinosaurs, the Tyrannosaurus Rex was the meanest because his arms were too short to reach his wiener. That is a medically proven fact. That will make you angry. And you'll never watch Jurassic Park the same way again. Fact of life, if you're driving down the interstate and you come up behind that old pickup truck that has like 13 wooden pallets stacked in the back and they're held together by like 2 ratty bungee cords, we all say the same prayer. Dear God, do not let those bungee cords break until I get around this guy. What happens to them, we don't really worry about, but I need to get around him. Fact of life, when your kids go off to college, you need to be concerned about the excessive drinking, the wild sex, the sleeping till noon, and you need to worry your kids might be doing the same thing. Fact of life, 100% of the black men that shave their heads look really cool. 50% of the white guys that shave their heads look like they just murdered their parents. And you're thinking of somebody right now, aren't you? Fact of life, flying on an airplane makes you gassy. Nobody ever talks about this. Nobody ever acknowledges this. We just take our little roll-around suitcase and walk to baggage claim, popping them off like a trail horse. Okay, let me tell you what makes me feel better. When I write this stuff, I don't know if it's just me or not. But when you laugh like that and start punching each other, I know there's others in the club. And I think that's why TSA is always in such a bad mood, by the way. Fact of life, if you wake yourself up with a snore, the first thing you do is look around to see who's laughing at you. Fact of life, when your wife or girlfriend gets tipsy, there is a very fine line between her talking dirty to you and sleeping like a hibernating bear. And by fine line, I mean about half a sip. You wait till we get home tonight, mister. I'm gonna tear you up. And once she crosses the line, you ain't getting her back. It's like the paramedics putting the paddle on a body with no head. You're wasting your time. Baby, wake up for like 1 minute. 1 minute, please. Fact of life, women always have more questions than men have answers to. Great example of this. 6, 7 months ago, I get a text one day. The text says, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. I walk into the kitchen where my wife is. I said, hey, I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. She said, was he driving? I said, I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. Were Carol and the kids in the car with him? I don't know. I just got a text said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. Were the people in the other car hurt? I don't know. I just got a text said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. What hospital did they take him to? I don't know. I just got a text said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. She said, well, you don't know anything. What do you know? I know you need to pray for Tom. I just got a text said he was in a bad wreck.
Yeah. Thanks very much, y'all. I am from the South. A lot of people seem to have the idea that everybody from the South is married to their sister and has seen a UFO. Well, I'm just dating my sister, and I couldn't swear it wasn't a weather balloon. We kind of have that reputation in the South. People think we're goobers because of the way we talk, you know. And it is hard to be cool with a Southern accent. Because it's like people from New York, they come down south, they just fit right in. It's like, yo, pass the freaking grits, y'all, all right? You can't do that with a Southern accent. You could take a Southerner to a nude beach on the French Riviera, we'd be out there going, damn, this looks like a good place to fish here. Ed, bring the cooler, I found a spot. Going up to naked women, hey, you don't know where we pick up some red wigglers, do you? A lot of people have the idea everybody from the South is a redneck. Now, that's not necessarily true. I've been all over the country. There's rednecks everywhere. Basically, you're just babysitting people whose biggest ambition is to pee in the parking lot or something. But if you get talked into doing it, have fun with it. Like at the end of the night, drop them off at the wrong damn house. Preferably in their boss's front yard or something. Huh? Where the hell are my flamingos? But don't drink and drive, it's not funny. I know this is ask who's single and who's married, because married people can't clap as loud. The chain only goes this far, you know. I think out of the two groups, I think single people probably have the toughest life. Just the word single itself, you know, S-I-N-G-L-E. Stay intoxicated nightly, get laid every day. And single life is hard, too. All that raising hell, staying out late, you know. And you know you're out too late because you come home and there's two white guys boxing on ESPN. That's late. Dating's the hard part of being single. Especially if you go out with a girl that forgot to tell you she had a boyfriend. Yeah. I am a married man now. I love my wife to death. I really do. Love being married. And my wife and I don't fight much. I find when we fight, we always fight about money. You know, my wife, she gets pissed off because we don't have any, and I get pissed off because we did. And money is not that big a deal. We've all been broke. I was so broke when I was in college, they sent a guy to repossess my car because I didn't make a payment for a couple of years. And the guy came to my house, big guy, showed up at the door. He said, Mr. Foxworthy, he said, I'm from the bank, and unless you have $300, I'm taking that Camaro with me. I got mad. I said, $300? Who keeps that kind of cash on them? He said, well, you can't write me a check? I said, a check? Shit, yeah, I can write you a check. I thought you needed money. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and pay that whole thing off right now. But overall, married life is great. My wife and I, we're trying to have a kid now. We've been trying about 6 months, I guess, and she's not pregnant yet, but I figure if you got to be a failure at something, ooh, this is about as much fun as anything, so... But my wife's a little concerned. She made us an appointment at one of these fertility clinics. You know what I'm talking about? And I was a little nervous because I knew what they wanted. I just didn't know how they planned on getting it, you know? I mean, I didn't know if the doctor took matters in his own hands or if it was like a dairy or what, you know? I talked to a friend of mine that had been through this. He said, Jeff, don't worry. It's just a do-it-yourself place. He said, you go down there, they give you a little cup and a Playboy magazine. He said, you take them off in a little room and just do what you've always practiced at, you know? And I'm thinking, well, hell, I hope it's an issue I don't have, you know? Well, because that would be embarrassing. Do you have another month? This isn't doing anything for me here, huh? Something with a redhead if you got it, huh? So I went down to the place. About 3 weekends ago, I went down there. I was waiting out in the lobby. The nurse calls me in, and she just hands me a cup. No book, just a cup. And I'm bumming, but hell, I got a great imagination. So I took the cup, I went off in the little room they gave me and, did what I was supposed to do. Then I waited a few minutes because I didn't want to look like a circus freak, when I came back out. So I got my cup, I'm walking back down the hall, I found the nurse, I handed her the thing, and she said, "We don't do that here, we just need a urine sample." I have never been that embarrassed in my entire life. And my wife told everybody, too. My own mother's going, "Heard what you did in the cup." Thank you very much, Joe. You guys are a hell of a nice crowd.
You realize the power of prayer, and I know it firsthand in my life because not long ago, my mother's flip phone finally broke. We've been praying for that 14 years, so don't give up. Things will happen on God's time. And so we ended up getting my 86-year-old mother her very first iPhone. And if you were to say to me tonight, "Hey, Jeff, would you rather teach your mother how to text or teach your dog how to wipe his butt?" I would say, "Hand me the toilet paper. Let's give that a shot." Teaching my 86-year-old mother to text has been a little bit of a challenge. And my daughters, bless their heart, they're texting her, trying to encourage her and everything. And she called me not long ago. She goes, "I have a question." I said, "What is it, Mom?" She goes, "What is low?" I said, "Mom, I have no idea what you're talking about." She said, "Jules sent me a text, and at the end of it, it said low." I said, "How you spell it, Mom?" She said, LOL. I said, "That's not low." I said, "That's laugh out loud." I said, "What young people do, since they text so much, instead of typing everything out, they'll just use the initials. So IDK is I don't know, OTW is on the way." I said, "That's how they do it." Oh. A few weeks ago, I get a text one night from my mother. IYGTTGSINSK. I'm like, oh God, Mom's had a stroke. I called her up. I said, "Mom," I said, "what did you just text me?" She said, "I was doing like the girls do. I said, if you go to the grocery store, I need some ketchup." Well, of course you did. Why didn't I see that? But with my comedy, people always ask, "Where do you come up with stuff?" And I don't look for stuff. I assume if I think something, or my wife says something, or my family does something, other people are thinking and saying and doing the whole thing. And then COVID hit, and I went 2.5 years without getting to do this at all. And I really missed it. I miss traveling. I grew up in Hapeville, Georgia. I'd never been anywhere through comedy. I've been to all 50 states, and my wife will cherry pick my gigs and decide where she wants to go. And then all of a sudden we didn't go anywhere for a couple of years, and she really missed the travel. So when it became evident we weren't going to go anywhere, my wife ordered like 4 or 5 travel magazines, and she was kind of living vicariously through them. So one night I'm sitting around the house and I'm flipping through one of those magazines, and I saw an article in there that was written by a woman trying to teach other women how to pack for a 10-day trip using only a carry-on suitcase. Let me repeat that. A woman packing for 10 days using only a carry-on suitcase. And I thought, what woman is she talking about? Barbie? My wife couldn't pack for a nudist colony in a carry-on suitcase. And now the airport only lets you take one carry-on. Well, if I'm with my wife, she has 2, and I have whatever I can fit in my pockets. But I thought it was interesting because we live in a world where people try to make everything you say sexist. I thought the article was interesting because it was only written to women. She didn't say men. Because I think men could you do 10 days in a carry-on? I could. You might be burning the socks and the underwear, but I could do it. Because I think most men pack like I do. This is the way I pack. I go in my closet and I think, okay, I'm going to be out 3 days. 3 days means 3 pairs of socks, 3 pairs of underwear, 3 shirts, another pair of blue jeans in case I spill something on these, toothbrush, razor blade, ready to go. 10 seconds of well thought out packing. That's how I pack. Now, when I go on vacation with my wife, and let me say this up front, I love being on vacation with my wife. Because my wife is a lot more friendly on vacation than she is at home. Something about having numbers on the door improves her attitude. Same woman that won't look at me twice at home, you get numbers on the door, she is hanging the trapeze before the bellhop to the ice machine. Love being on vacation with this girl. It's getting to vacation that is the problem. Because it takes her longer than 10 seconds to pack. In fact, it takes her days to pack. And I finally figured out why. It's because she has outfits. Not a man in this room has an outfit. My wife's got an outfit for the airport. This is my airport outfit. Doesn't bind, doesn't cling. Shoes are easy on, easy off through security. I love this airport outfit. She has an outfit picked out for every single day we are going to be gone, plus additional outfits in case we go out somewhere nice to dinner. She's got sleepwear, swimwear, exercise wear, lounge around wear. So there's a ton of clothes that have a shot at making her vacation team. So what she will do is about 3 days before we're supposed to leave, she'll start pulling clothes out. And she'll lay them on the bed like flat Stanley mannequins. And she just stares at them. Sometimes she'll call me and come here and need your help. Okay, I am down to these 2 outfits. Which one do you like the best? One on the left. Are you kidding me? What's wrong with the one on the right? There's nothing wrong with it. I like that one on the left. I knew I shouldn't have called you. I love the one on the right. You know what? Now that I really think about it, I love the one on the right. No, you don't. You're just saying that. Now I don't know what to do. I know what to do. I'm going to go jump in front of a bus. Why don't you stand here and stare at this for a while? See, because with me, once my clothes are packed, I'm packed. With my wife, the clothes, that's just the foundation. Her packet, it's like an archaeological dig. There's many, many layers to it. Because once she has the clothes picked out, now she has to go back and pick out the jewelry that goes with each particular outfit. These ladies are like, yes, she does. If you watch court TV, that's what they call the jewelry selection process. Next level is the shoes. He just got the jewelry selection process. I can take as much time as you need, honestly. The shoes take a long time. She spends longer picking shoes for vacation than we spent picking names for our children. I mean, my wife loves shoes. I hope to God she never has to choose between me and her shoes. Because I can see the surgeon going, well, Miss Foxworthy, we can save Jeff's life. But in order to do it, you would have to get rid of all of your shoes. He said he wants to be cremated. I'm going to need some new shoes for that ceremony. Next level is the electronics, because one time we went somewhere and the hotel didn't have a hairdryer. Well, that was a world crisis. So now my wife never packs a suitcase without packing a hairdryer. But then she'll pack a hair curler and a hair straightener. I'm like, they cancel each other out. Then she packs that lighted makeup mirror where one side has 12 times magnification. Nobody needs to look at their face magnified 12 times. At 12 times magnification, a wrinkle looks like an irrigation ditch. A blackhead looks like a manhole cover. And God forbid she find a chin hair. You're not getting a girl out of the room that sees something on her chin that looks like the anchor rope to a battleship. I'm telling you that right now. Do you know I've never ever looked at my face in the 12 times magnification mirror? All right, to be completely honest, a couple of times I did get out of the shower and I paused in front of it just for a minute. Buenos dias, señor enchilada grande. Next level total feminine phenomena is the just-in-case level. Like my wife will always pack a little raincoat and a travel umbrella just in case it rains. I'm like, baby, I checked the forecast. There's less than a 5% chance any day we're going to be there. Okay, fine. I don't know what you're going to do if it rains. I do. I'll probably go back inside. She always packs a sweater or a light jacket just in case it gets cold at night, as it so often does in Orlando in July. Anybody else have a wife or girlfriend that will, this is what my wife will do. She will take a little soft-sided collapsible suitcase and pack it inside of the hard-sided suitcase just in case I buy something. And I've never looked in that soft-sided suitcase. I'm willing to bet there's a smaller soft-sided suitcase inside of it. She'll always pack like a gallon Ziploc bag full of medicine just in case somebody gets sick. One time I'm playing in Buffalo. It's like February. They had snow up to here. I have a little bit of a headache. I go and zip the medicine bag. We've got malaria pills. Thankfully missed the great malaria outbreak in Buffalo. And I said, baby, I love you to death. I said, this is where your packing just goes off the rails. So the next time we're getting ready to go on vacation, I walk in the bedroom and I caught her rooting through my suitcase. And she goes, uh-huh. She pulls out a 5-pound bag of oats, holds it up. She goes, what is this for? I said, oh, that. I said, that is just in case the 2 donkeys we're going to need to carry your luggage get hungry while we're gone. And actually, she packs light for airline travel as opposed to if we go on vacation in the car. Now, if we go on vacation in the car, there's a fine line between packing and moving. But my wife and daughters, they think it is their job to fill that SUV to the top. And the way they pack would make a man lay on the floor and wet himself. They will bring out a bag with bread and potato chips, put it on the bottom, then put 3 suitcases on top of it. I'm like, let me do this, please. Because men care about, there's an art to packing a car, isn't there? Total art. My daddy could get a house full of furniture into the trunk of a Buick. Hold the jack, hand me the piano. I got this son of a gun, you know. And I'm like my daddy too. Once I get that car packed the way I like it, I'm ready to go. Not my wife. I walk in the house like, all right, car's packed, let's do it. Oh, we can't go yet. What do you mean we can't go? Car's packed, let's go. No, I got to straighten up the house. Do what? Well, I'm not going to be able to have a good time if I know I'm going to be coming back to a messy house. Why didn't you straighten it up the last couple of days? Because I had to pack. Which in a nutshell is why men die before women. Because we want to. One of the most recent trips to Louisiana, we went down, my wife's cousin got married in Baton Rouge, and so we went down for that wedding and the rehearsal dinner at Hooters. If I'm lying, I'm dying. And our waitress that night was qualified to work there. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure she was on a scholarship. First time she walked up to the table, my wife's Uncle Don looked at her and went, "Woo, woo, where'd you get them things, girl?" I thought, oh, she's going to get mad. And she didn't. She was very cool. She said, "I bought them." Well, then Don's wife, Lois, said, "You know, I've been thinking about buying me some." Don turned to Lois and said, "You are 62 years old. You getting a boob job would be like hanging a new chandelier in a haunted house." This is the blood that flows through my children. And when we went to the wedding, we stayed with my wife's mom and dad. In fact, we spent 5 days with my in-laws, which on life's list of fun things to do comes in right below sitting in a tub full of scissors. And everybody here has family like this. You have people in your family, you love them. You love them to death. You just don't do real well when you have to share the same house, because your lifestyles are different. And that's the case with my in-laws. I mean, they're getting on up there. They're in their golden years. And see, I'm out late at night doing this kind of thing. And bless their heart, it's all they can do to stay awake through the Wheel of Fortune. You're at their house, you watch American Idol, you feel like a hellraiser. It's 9 o'clock, we're still up, we're crazy! But because they go to bed so early, they get up early, which is fine. If, like normal human beings, they drink coffee and read the newspaper. That's not what happens in the nut house. My father-in-law, who is retired, who has nowhere to go, gets up at 5:45 every morning of his life. He walks straight into the den and starts watching the Discovery Channel at a volume normally reserved for movie theater sound commercials. So you're lying in bed. The sun has not thought about coming up. All of a sudden you hear,
"Like other predators of the plains, the jackal subdues its victim by clamping his neck and slowly squeezing the life from his body."
You're in the bed going, you know what? That ain't a bad idea. And it's a weird sensation to be mad and learning at the same time. Second morning we were there, I learned everything there was to know about the African willow fly before I had even peed. You know that fly only lives 28 hours? That's his entire life, 28 hours. I'm lying in the bed thinking, boy, you only live 28 hours? You can't afford to have a bad day. And what happens if you get involved with a girl that wants to take it slow? Honey, we're going to be dead in 3 minutes. Spread your tiny wings and fly away. And we always have to sleep on the fold-out couch at their house. Boy, that's a good night's rest, isn't it? Got that one iron bar under your skull, one under your pelvic bone, that last one under your ankles. Sleeping on that thick, thick mattress. I've eaten bologna thicker than the mattress on the fold-out couch. And boy, they keep that house a little warm. The inside of their house is about the same temperature as the bottom of a rocket when it's this high off the ground. And they walk around in sweaters. Is anybody else cold? Is it just me? Is anybody else cold? Hell, I'm naked on the tile bathroom floor, gasping for air. Well, I remember when I was in the 4th grade and the firemen visited our school, they told us that's where the last oxygen would be, right there next to the floor. I'm in the bathroom so long, my mother-in-law's beating on the door. Do you need a correct-all? You eat too much cheese. And I'm not making fun of old people. I'm not. Because I really do believe that's the goal of everybody here tonight. We all want to live long enough to someday be an old person. I do. I not only want to be an old person someday, I want to be a burden to my children. Oh, I know the day's coming. My kids are going to be on the phone with each other going, "It's your turn to take Daddy for a while." Oh, he's making those noises. He doesn't even know he does it. If you don't come get him, Todd and I are going to get a divorce. It's going to be your fault.